Talking with the experts.
In episode 405, Dinashri Bhatkal discusses with us how we can make decisions and create wealth while also managing our mindset.
Even if we're coaching businesses, individuals are at the helm of it at the end of the day. So when we talk of a money management system, like a personalized money management system, we essentially talk of the fact that most people, when they are chasing a dream of wanting to become, some will say millionaires, some will just say, oh, this is my target, however they put it up. One of the things we miss is to really quantify what amount of money that we are able to make and keep aside in our life, which can support us when we stop working. What is that quantum that is going to make us comfortable? Most of us go on without even calculating that. Do I really need a million sitting there to give me that comfort to have a comfortable life? Could be. The answer could be yes. The answer could also be more than a million. But for a lot.
Talking with the experts.
Talking with the Experts would love to acknowledge Global Glamping Charities Incorporated for generously supporting this podcast. Global Glamping Charities, solving homelessness in all of its forms. Reach out to them at globalglamping.org.
Welcome to Talking with the Experts. This is where we discuss great ideas to take your business to the next level. How do we know these ideas work? Well, it's because we're talking with business owners who are using these ideas. Business owners who have years of experience and expertise. All things business by business owners for business owners. And now, here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name is Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. Today, my guest is Dinashri Bhatkal. Hopefully, I've said that correctly. And we're going to be talking about money. So what's left and what's right. Dinashri is a business coach, and she has chosen this topic because it's also the title of her book. And so we'll talk about that a little bit later on. She lives in Mumbai, and she is a finance professional and a serial entrepreneur who has been training businesses and coaches individuals to find financial freedom. With 20 years of professional experience, she has co-founded A Money Tree, a boutique firm that is dedicated to transforming financial lives of clients. She calls herself an accidental millionaire, but an international entrepreneur. Welcome, Dinashri, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rose. I'm so happy to be here. I hope we can just jump straight into the conversation.
Absolutely. Yes. So how did you get to being from a serial entrepreneur and a financial professional to becoming a business coach?
I think one of the first things we did was I started out as an entrepreneur when I was just out of college. I with a team of people around me, all of us out of college, we started then it was a very unique concept here in India. We started a food truck, very different from what my sector is because my qualification was in finance. I think we got pretty much of the formula, right? We acquired customers easily. We started making revenues, and things looked like there was going to be no looking back. And 12 months down the line, we realized that the business had tanked, and there were certain things we had missed, and we had to be agile and tweak a lot of things, actually, get into a B2B space. So we had a journey, my co-founder and I, who are still together in A Money Tree, we had a journey of those 5 to 6 years when we had to, attempt and get into so many different areas trying to make that business model work because many of the things that we instinctively planned were not working out the way we wanted them to. Over a period of 10 years, I'm talking about 2001 when I started out, and a Money Tree was founded in 2010. So there was a period of 9 years there. And those 9 years gave us a learning curve. It, specifically gave me such an insight into business of, all the do's and don'ts and how to put everything together. So I think by the time 2010 came, a natural progression emerged out of that. And I realized that we didn't have mentors when we started out, right? We were kind of almost mentoring each other. And it was a trial and error model because there was nobody to tell us what to do. And we said with almost a decade of experience, we had everything, that we could put into a capsule and offer to our clients and say, look, this is what you do and this is what you don't do. So logically, yes, we had a qualification that matched, where we could coach people for businesses or structure it for them. And we had a hands-on experience of close to 10 years. So I think our Money Tree was born out of that desire to make that entire learning curve and that process shorter for other founders. So what took us 10 years, we knew that now we could make other people do that in like maybe 2 years. So we were looking at reducing that time gap and bringing that to the table for clients. That's
Really?
how. Yeah.
It's really good. Using your experience to help others, and I think that's it's a good way to be, because it's not always about the money, but helping others is, I think should be a quality that we all should possess, but we don't. It's unfortunate. Anyway, how did you come about writing your book?
So I've been writing on different topics since the time I was like in school and college. I was writing for, earlier the non-digital platforms like for print. Um, and when the digital platforms came along, I started writing on, like my social media accounts. I got a lot of appreciation for it from people. I got suggestions that I should be writing. So let's say that it was kind of a dream for always to be able to write and get published. But for the longest, I just kept pushing it forward. And then I think there came a time when the two things that I love most, sort of, I was able to blend them into one thing and write a book. So one is writing, and the other is my topic about money and finance, and So I think I just hit that right topic at one point in time, and I said, okay, now this is going to be what I can really write about. So I think it's just kind of something that culminated over a period of time. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is Money? What's Left? What's Right? What's about?
So what I'm trying to do in this book, my effort was firstly, what's left, what's right refers to two parts of the left brain, right brain, right? The two concepts of how we look at finance or money. The more commonly known factors, the more acknowledged part comes from the practical side, the logical side. We talk about, what we also do in business coaching, right? So this is the structure, this is how you do it. This is a process, and you know that if you follow a plan or a strategy, then you're likely to have this kind of outcome, and you keep deviating or, adjusting it to that. So that's the practical, logical side. But I have learned from experience that my career or my personal life, what I have seen is that the other side of the brain plays an equally important role. So a lot of us might be doing a lot of things right when it comes to the math of money, but when it comes to our mindset, we may not be in the perfect place. And it's a less acknowledged aspect of money making or financial management, or how we could have our financial realities change. So this book talks about it's essentially in two parts. We talk about one part where we are working on the mindset and what might be blocking you from experiencing your complete financial potential. There could be stories we carry about money, memories we have, some trauma we faced as children, and we don't realize. But I'm hoping that when people work along, when the readers work along in this book, they'll find some of those and be able to, sort of overcome them, or at least I feel awareness is a good start. And also, I have kept the language very, very simplified. So I don't write as a finance professional. Actually, I write more as a coach here, because the intention is that even if somebody does not have a financial background or does not understand the jargon, I wanted it to be in a very, very simplified format, be it a homemaker or a student or a retired person or whoever should be able to sort of benefit and make a start from there. Because personally, one to one, we can't reach, we have a limit to how many people we can reach in terms of transforming their financial realities. So I thought this could be a good platform to, sort of aid people with that.
Absolutely. I mean, if they say that there's a book in all of us, and if you've got something good to share, why not share it?
Yes.
Dhanashree, have you got any sort of steps or strategies in your book that maybe would be helpful to our audience?
Yes, actually, the book sort of pans out. Every chapter in the book has certain worksheets at the end of it. It marks out some strategies, some things you can do, and then it has some worksheets where you can actually, sort of spend time introspecting and doing that. But if I had to just put this here in a platform rather than, uh, leaving it for people to read, then, well, in a capsule, I would say that on the mindset side, on that part, the strategy remains that, I give a system of how you could identify those areas which are blocking you, how you could use your own, visual or auditory or whatever is your predominant sense to go back into that and cleanse that part of your, either the memory or the belief system that you carry about it, how you can bring that down to zero, and certain processes that you can use. Of course, I have given an option of processes because every process will not resonate with everybody. So whatever works for whoever, to sort of rewire your system and rewire your, sort of brain to accept new realities on it. So that is the premise. And I think if I just had to say it in a quick thing for listeners here, I would say that if you've got, what is your oldest memory of money? I'm just talking to any listener right now who's kind of listening. We would all have memories. If we go back and say, oh, when I was 3 years old, I heard somebody talk. My parents talk that our neighbor got rich and then he's not in touch with us anymore. We have a label in our mind connected to that. We build a story about that. So the story could be very far from reality. It could be something like, oh, so when people become rich, they don't value relationships anymore. Might not really be true though. And these are the kind of small little things, sounds really small, but if you kind of, accumulate what might have happened over a period of time, over 2 decades, 3 decades, and now you're in your 30s or 40s, do you still carry something like that about money? Do you still feel, oh, if I become rich, then there's a price I'm going to have to pay? Maybe with relationships, or maybe with something else. So the idea is to sort of identify where those roots lie. And for each of us, there are going to be many stories, right? It's not going to be one. So every time you work with these worksheets, or even if you just forget the worksheets, even if you just do it with yourself, you're going to realize 3, 4, 5 things. It'll keep coming up that, oh, I didn't even realize this is a word. Like people say filthy rich. Why do you attach an adjective of filthy to rich? There is something hidden there. It's a very common line, filthy rich, or So these are small little things, but our language determines our thoughts and our feelings about something. And also the way we sort of accept that in our life or don't accept that in our life. So I think one of the main things is revisiting where our memories lie, where our stories lie, and being able to become aware and kind of dispel them. That's enough. We don't need them if they don't serve us. So I think this is something any of us can do, and we can decide to do it today. We don't really need a worksheet for it also. So I think that will be the first thing before we get to any kind of practical money management systems, because most of the times this blocks it more than practicalities, I think.
Sort of the money systems that that you would talk about with your clients.
So even if we're coaching businesses, individuals are at the helm of it at the end of the day. So it's so when we talk of a money management system, like a personalized money management system, we essentially talk of the fact that most people, when they are chasing a dream of wanting to become, some will say millionaires, some will just say, oh, this is my target, however they put it up. One of the things we miss is to really quantify what amount of money that we are able to make and keep aside in our life, which can support us when we stop working. What is that quantum that is going to make us comfortable. Most of us go on without even calculating that. Do I really need a million sitting there to give me that comfort to have a comfortable life? Could be. The answer could be yes. The answer could also be more than a million. But for a lot of people, it could be less. The point is, we are not even asking ourselves that. So, in the personalized money management system that we talk about, the first element is to kind of quantify that amount, you know. So, if you're in your 20s or your 40s or your 60s, that amount is going to be different because you have a much, the span of life that you have to cover is going to be different. Once we have that amount, sort of quantified, the part two of it is, so what are the resources that you can utilize to actually have, so that amount is going to come from a compound effect, right? So I'm going to have, like, if I have 20 years in my hand to retire, so I know that over the next 20 years, what are the kind of amounts I need to keep every month or every year in order to be able to accumulate that. And of course, year on year, I can also have returns getting accumulated there, so that I know that at the age of whenever I plan to retire, maybe at 60, I'm going to have, this kind of a fund there. The third component is understanding that when we decide that quantum, a large determinant of that is going to be what kind of returns can we realistically expect? Because worldwide today, the returns on investments have drastically come down, except for those which are high risk. So you have a lot of high risk, investment possibilities where the returns are really, really good. But again, risk appetite is not something that is, so these are some of these elements that we put together. And in fact, my book has an entire chapter that also talks about this, that these 4 or 5 elements, how you can assess for yourself, so various parameters of how you can, and then you can create your own mix with a personalized money management plan. So the idea is to assist people to reach that quantum in a structured, slow paced manner, in not depending on any kind of overnight. But, I mean, that's a chance. It could happen to a lot of people, of course, but we don't bank on that. So we're talking of a slow, consistent growth that could happen over 10, 20, 30 years, depending on how much time you have in hand. And we assist them to build the system, because we don't give them a plug and play model. The reason why we prefer to coach rather than sell a ready package, right? Because they need to work on it. They know what is realistic for them. And if they create the original plan, then every time in their life when they need a switch, they will be able to tweak it themselves. They don't have to come back to us. That's the idea.
Well, that's a great idea. Get people to be self-sustainable and financially happy with their position in life. I think that's a great way to be. And so, sometimes we all need a helping hand to get us into that point, because not all of us are good with money, and, we just plod along, a bit like me. I just plod along, and to me, it's made round to go round, and my husband reckons money's made flat to stack. So he's the saver, I'm the spender. Janashri, where can people find you if they'd like to work with you, or indeed find your book?
So I've got, there's a website by my name. It's www.dhanashree.bhatkal.com. That's DHANASHREEPHATKAL.com. So here, there is a link where you'll be able to see also, the book is available on Amazon and several other platforms, but you'll find all the links, all the buying links, because it depends. Amazon also in different regions has different links. So we've put all those links together, aggregated them here. Also, if there's any other way, like if anyone would like to know about coaching or any other speaking, things and gigs, anything else, also, this is the best place to sort of reach out to me.
Wonderful. And what about a moneytreeonline.com? What's there?
So a money tree is more the, that website will give the entire gamut of services that we do under a money tree, which is the firm, that we founded in 2010. So under a money tree, we have a lot of business focused kind of products and services. So we take care of taxes, we take care of cross-border, transactions, and business transformation is one of our main, it's our key, core product. where we assist and handhold businesses in any stage of their lives to sort of transform, enhance, get better. Basically, we our intention is to turbocharge their profits. So that's what we do under a money tree. And if any business is looking out for any kind of assistance, collaboration, anything, then yes, a moneytreeonline.com is the website to go to. And if you're talking of a more, personalized coaching or anything about the book or anything which involves me personally, then the personal website might be a better place. But they are linked, so if anybody finds one, they're going to get to the others.
Wonderful, wonderful. Dhanashree, what words of advice would you like to offer our audience today?
Okay. I think what comes from, my journey for me, it has been, I think getting, money is only a vehicle that I use to talk about because that's the subject I understand most. But I've realized, and there have been some readers who've come back to me, some clients who've come back to me and actually said that this entire concept of becoming aware of your mindset and then putting a practical formula to do things has helped them not only with money or their financial realities. I've had somebody come back and tell me, I was in a breakup and I was able to deal with that better when I read this. Or, another health situation and I was able to. So I think the only thing that I'd like to leave the audience with is the process of, working on your mindset or on that part of your brain where we are relooking and revisiting things that we carry that don't serve us anymore, and sort of decluttering that out of our systems and then working on something fresher, bigger, with a more logical side of your brain, no matter what you're working on, whether it's your career or a relationship or health or anything outside that. I think that seems to be a great fit, which, we receive great feedback about that, and that's been my experience in life. So I think do not think that one side of it will be enough. I think that balance is very important to be able to, work on both sides of the brain. I think that's what I would sort of, that's what I would like to leave the audience with. Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. We all need to let out our inner child sometimes, and stop being so adulting. Adulting is not fun. Trust me, I'd rather be an
It's not.
It's not. It's very boring. So if any of the teenage kids are here, don't think that that you want to grow up too quickly, because let me tell you, adulting's not fun.
Yeah, absolutely. They are in the best time. If any kids are listening in, you're in the best time of your life.
Absolutely. Dhanashree, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Same here. Thanks so much, Rose, for having me.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.